Hello there, Queensland Storyteller Time. I'm Kim Dodsworth. Peter Lingard of Melbourne is no stranger to our short story program. His work is never predictable, always interesting, always professional. His story today, Aftermath, tells of two people whose lives have been turned upside down by the events of September 11. 21 March 2005, New York City. The last image I have of my wife is in a television news video. She was running up Greenwich Avenue, a terrified look on her face and a monstrous cloud of dust chasing her. She may be screaming her terror, but I'm ashamed to say I can't distinguish her screams from the cries of others. Beyond the camera, she rushed round a corner, lost her footing, and slipped beneath the wheels of a fire-laddered truck racing to the carnage. That was the day radical Muslims attacked the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. I still see her face clearly. My Annabelle. Her smile and the lines that appeared around her eyes. The way she poked her tongue out when she sassed me. Stuff like that. I have a load of photos and videos of her, including the newsreel. But I have to limit myself. She called me Ace. I can hear her now. Well done, Ace. You've done it again. I have those exact words on a video. Barky chocolates were her favourite, and I haven't eaten any since she gave me one the Sunday before she was killed. She loved puppies and hated bugs. If she saw a spider within what she considered a dangerous distance, she squealed and ordered me to kill it. She never used anything but Chanel No. 5, and I always gave her a bottle for birthdays and anniversaries. It may not be sensible, but I keep some of her clothes in a box that has a tight seal, and every now and then I pull out a scarf or a hanky and inhale her fragrance. She once told me that women who use Chanel No. 5 never smell the same. Their bodies add something to personalize the fragrance. I fill my lungs and hear her words. Her favorite song was You're in My Heart. We sang it together once. We were in the kitchen preparing a picnic and it came on the radio. We sang it at the tops of our voices, then we locked eyes and quietened. I put down the flask, and she deliberately wiped her hands on a tea towel, and we met in the middle of the kitchen. She circled my waist, and I put my arms around her shoulders and my nose in her hair while we swayed to the music. That was my definition of happiness. But it hurts to remember it now. I had a Rod Stewart CD with a song on it, but I snapped it in two when I found myself playing it too often. It made me maudlin. Whenever the song comes on the radio, I have to change the station. I tell myself I have to move on, but it's hard to let go. There's a certain woman at the counselling sessions I attend. My eyes always seek her out, and I'd like to say hello, but Annabelle was my social superior as far as fads, styles, and dress sense are concerned. After she died, I still sought her approval in those matters. When I dressed, I asked for her approval, sometimes changing a shirt or a jacket on her supposed advice. If I made an outburst in company or in some other way lost my cool, I'd later admonish myself with Annabelle's words. It sounds stupid on paper, but that's the way it is. I can't pander to fashion fads, because her advice is limited to matters prior to September 11, 2001. There used to be a lot of us in need of counselling, and we had to break up into smaller groups, but most have found their consolation or just drifted away. We only break into 2 groups now. The woman I mentioned has long, dark hair and blue eyes, like Annabelle. It's strange, but I've never been in the same session as she. Apparently her husband was a fireman who died that same day. I'd like to get to know her, but I can't talk to her in case I find out he was on the truck that killed Annabelle. I know it's not likely, but who thought a handful of Arabs could wreak such havoc? Can I call them Arabs? We get this politically correct shit thrown at us so much. Who cares? They killed my wife. Would the woman know if her husband had been on that truck? Perhaps I'll take a deep breath one day and ask her. It'd be nice to get it out of the way. Mind, as she's still attending the sessions, she may still have issues, or like me, is merely there for the exclusive company. I sometimes remind myself it's been more than 3 years, but it's embarrassing, and I slam a mental barrier down on my thoughts. Thankfully, the sessions are free, courtesy of New York City. Could she and I help each other, if we still need help? Or am I being dishonest with myself because I'd like to get to know her? Can I ask the trick cyclist who runs the sessions? No. If he says I'm insincere, I won't want to hear it. Is that what we're all doing? Are we looking for others to validate our feelings and know there's a good chance of success within our unique group? If that's true, I have to stop attending. I'll give myself the chance to get to know the brunette and then quit. Sorry, Annabelle, but I have to leave you behind, unless I can find another you. That's a lot to expect of another woman. Besides, I want whoever to be herself. Hi, I'm Cooper. We've never really talked about anything other than our past partners, but I'd like to get to know you, if that's okay. I stretched out my hand. Well, thank God for that, she said as she took my hand. I've seen you checking me out, and I wondered how long it'd take. Happy day. Oh, did I smell Chanel No. 5? She unbalanced me. Your name's Anika, right? She laughed. Sorry. Yes, Anika. There's something I need to know. What truck was your husband on the day he died? Great opening line, Coop. Do you mind if I call you Coop? Stop unnerving me. No, Coop's fine. Did my irritation show? She smiled. Matthew's fire truck number? She paused, presumably to think about it. I don't know. It was a regular fire truck. Why do you ask? I could have managed without the mention of her dead husband's name. Annabelle, my late wife, was run over by a ladder truck that day. She put her hand to her mouth. Oh my God, Coop. I'm so sorry. I turned my mouth down, shrugged my shoulders. It wasn't your fault. Her voice hardened a tad. But you want to know if it was my husband's fault? No, not at all. I'm not looking to blame anyone. It's just that it'd be hard. I don't know. Look, if your husband was on that truck, it'd be hard to take me getting to know you much further. I can see that. Why don't you come back to my place and we'll see if we can sort this out. I have all the details of his death at home. The fire department can be a bit overbearing when it comes to one of their own dying, but they are sticklers for details. Actually, when I think about it, as Annabelle was run over by a ladder truck, not a regular fire engine, we don't need to look into it any further. The coast is clear for want of a better cliché. And I don't want to go to your place just yet. Why don't we just go for a drink someplace where it's neutral ground, a place without history for either of us? Good idea. There's a place I discovered just 3 blocks from where I live. Would you mind if we went there? It was a nice enough place. It had upmarket clientele, so the drinks were a bit pricey, but it was warm and friendly. We told each other about our past partners, and once we had dispensed with that awkward information, we talked about ourselves. We have several common interests. She even follows the Jets. Someone played one of Rod Stewart's recordings on the jukebox, one of those oldies but goodies he croaks out so well. I love Rod Stewart, Anika said. My favourite song of all time is You're in My Heart. Do you know it? What to say? Yeah, I do. It was Annabelle's favourite too. Is it okay to tell you that, or should I have kept it to myself? No, it's okay. There's no point in building barriers. Better we knock them down. We both had partners who died on the same day from the same cause. There's nothing wrong in acknowledging that. We walked to her apartment building. As we stood outside the main entrance, me wanting to kiss her but unsure of the moment, a beetle ran across the sidewalk. Anika tried to stomp on it, but the insect escaped into the gutter. I raised my eyebrows, and she stuck her tongue out at me. She rummaged in her handbag. Do you want a kiss? She stretched out her hand, and offered me a baki. And that was today's story, Aftermath, by Peter Lingard of Melbourne. I hope you'll tune in again this time next week when I'll have another short story of quality for you. I'm Kim Dodsworth, the program Queensland Storyteller.